Hello YouTube. Recently did a video about this crappy little switch on this SEAFLO pump and how this switch kept on failing. So what I did was I bypassed it with one of these, the square D switch for home well pumps. These are available at Lowe's and Ace Hardware and among other places. And okay, so what I did, I took the wires out of the switch completely, and then I took the switch off. I replaced these screws with some heftier screws, and I just filled this port with epoxy and screwed this switch back on and just let it dry, and that doesn't do anything anymore. So the negative and positive wires from the back of the switch, this is also secondarily switched to a manual switch, but you don't have to do that. I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to explain how it's wired up. So basically you're going to take the negative wire, and we'll just pretend that this is black also. Just ignore this. So you're going to take the negative wire from the pump and the positive wire from the pump, and you're going to run that over to the square D housing. Inside of the housing, let me take this off. You have 4 terminals. One side is negative, the other side is positive. So on the 2 inside terminals, I have the positive from the pump and the negative from the pump. And this is the negative from the battery and the positive from the battery. And what happens is when the pressure inside this accumulator tank drops, then this plate right here closes and makes contact, and it turns the pump on. And then when the pressure builds up, it clicks off. This is not designed for DC application. I'm using a 48 volt system, and I'm sorry, 24 volt system. And I figured this switch is much more beefy than that. This is an AC switch, but I think it was something like 8 amps, or I don't know. You'd have to refer to the previous video. But this switch has been working fine, no problem. And all I did was I got the pump here. I built this line right here that goes into my camper, and this is actually pumping straight from a hand-driven well, about 16 feet down. So, and it's actually working. I didn't expect it to work, but it worked. And let's see, I have a check valve here to keep it from losing prime. I have a check valve here to keep the pressure tank from blowing back out. I know that's probably a little redundant. I was thinking about removing that, but anyway, it works. I have this accumulator tank, square D switch, and a water hose hookup, and then it just runs inside of the camper. And that's it. So it's pretty simple, and I hope that helps everyone that's having a problem with this pump. The pump is great itself. It's okay. It's probably not the best in the world, but it's also not the worst. Sometimes I have to take this head off and clean out all of the little valves inside of here with a toothbrush, and then put it back together, and it works fine if it starts to lose prime and all that, which is another reason I put the check valves on it. But so there you have it. Simple fix for a very aggravating problem. And you can see right here, I think this is 1/4 inch threaded in NPT, and this is an adapter that went into here. You're just gonna have to go into the hardware store and play around with whatever they have, and try to figure it out in there, and then just put whatever you need in the cart and walk out and fix it. Thanks for watching. Later.